What's up, boys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing something a little bit different. You guys may know that today it was kind of officially announced that college football gaming is back. College football, obviously one of the most popular sports in the nation, and it was a big thing back in the day. For example, NCAA football 14 was the last installment of this series from EA Sports. It was one of my favorite games of all time. Absolute. Played it all day. It was absolutely incredible. Love to play. And it's kind of officially back. It's going to be under a new name. I think it's going to be called EA Sports College Football or whatever. Which is kind of like, But like, at least the game is back. Not sure if we're going to get like player licenses and stuff like that to like put actual players in the game, but I'm sure there'll be people out there making fun rosters that'll make it feel like it's actually the players in real life. So today I'm talking about the five top candidates for being on the cover of this new game, EA Sports College Football. Let's get right into it. We're gonna start at number 5, and this one's actually not a player. It's someone who is very involved in their football program and means a lot to them. It's going to be the Oregon Duck on the cover. I'm just kidding, guys. Number 5 is going to be an Oregon football player, I promise. It's going to be Kayvon Thibodeau. He's an edge rusher, one of the top players in the nation coming out of high school, and he's projected to be a top player, not the top player, but one of the top players picked in the 2022 NFL Draft. A lot of people know him from recruiting and all of that. I think he'd be a big piece that EA Sports could put on the cover to make it look really good. And as you can see on the screen, I kind of made this myself. I'm not too experienced with making stuff like this, but it took me quite a bit of time. So let me guys know what you think about it. But yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau is the first candidate for being on the cover. Let's get on to the number 4 player, who is out of LSU. He's a corner, another one of those highly recruited players out of high school. Definitely could be best cornerback in the country this year. Projected to be a top pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. And that's going to be Derek Stingley Jr. Derek Stingley on a pretty rough LSU team last year, not going to lie. But definitely showed his potential. One of the top corners in the country. He's going to make a lot of noise in this upcoming season and be a smart move for EA Sports to put this guy on the cover. Let's move on to the number 3 guy. That'll do it for the defensive players on this list. The final 3 guys will be offensive players. Starting with number 3, Iowa State running back Breezy Hall. Breezy Hall, one of the top running backs in the country last year, and he's coming back. Not going to the NFL, coming back for another season at Iowa State. Who's going to be a really good team. Potentially the best team in the Big 12 coming up this year. And he's going to be definitely a huge, ginormous part of that. So Breezy Hall could definitely be a smart decision to put on the cover. And I think this one looks pretty tough, in my opinion. You could go Brock Purdy here also, but I feel like Breezy Hall is a little more well known overall based on the running back versus quarterback. Overall quarterbacks are known more than running backs, but I feel like overall Brock Purdy is going to be a good player, but won't have the same impact that Breezy Hall has on that team. That's why I'm going with him at the number 3 spot on this list. On to the final 2 players to be mentioned. Let's start at number 2. Another Big 12 guy. Quarterback, you guys probably know who I'm talking about. Oklahoma Sooner, Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler, another one of those guys, top recruits in the country. That's kind of a theme with these. Besides Breezy Hall, he wasn't that big of a recruit, but most of the guys I have on this list were absolutely ginormous prospects because that's just going to help them be more well known and help EA Sports get a little more press for the game based on who's on the cover. And Spencer Rattler is just that. He's another one of those guys who's potentially going to be a top pick in the 22 NFL draft if he decides to declare for it. One of the best. He had a little bit of a rough start at Oklahoma this past year in his first year starting, but overall, as the year went on, he got better and better, and you could definitely see that potential from him. Oklahoma finished with 2 losses on the season, but with a bowl win at the end of the year, projecting them to be one of the top teams this year. It's going to be interesting to see Oklahoma versus Iowa State this year. That should be a good one. Breezy Hall versus Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler, one of the top quarterbacks in the country, and that's why I have him here at the number 2 spot on this list. Let's get on to the number 1 spot. We're going to go with, and you may call this bias, but I really don't know how you can. This almost can't be biased. Number 1 spot on this list for most deserving to be on the cover of EA Sports College Football whenever it drops is going to be Sam Howell, quarterback out of North Carolina. Potentially going to be the number 1 overall pick in the 2022 NFL draft. I'm pretty sure that's how most draft analysts are feeling right now, based on the last college football season and the year before. Sam Howell's an absolute beast, man. He's had I think he had better stats than Trevor Lawrence every single year. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is the year before, and his freshman year, Sam Howell was still in high school. But Sam Howell is an absolute monster, projected to be one of the top players in the NFL draft, like I just said, probably number 1 overall, if I just say so myself. You guys may think this is biased. But come on. Sam Howell's an absolute stud. Probably the favorite to be Heisman candidate for me, at least. That might be biased, but I'm sure a lot of other people will think that way as well. Also, guys, I left off the EA Sports College Football little tag thing on this one, just kind of think it looks so much better with just Sam Howell full on the screen here. I think this would actually be a pretty good cover. Obviously cleaning up a little the details, because I'm not very good at that graphic design stuff, but I think this looks pretty cool, and I think Sam Howell would be definitely the most deserving player to be on the cover of EA Sports College Football. Can't wait for the game to drop and get more news about it. Very excited for it. So guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.